Hey Chris, hey Oaks. Super dad.
Oh God, I need to scull this so I got one more hand.
Coffee, photo, carrying toddler. All at once. Well, that's the first time we're using the hiking backpack.
It's good. When he's not screaming, it's great.
In a place like this, as you can see, it makes a big difference because the pram, I mean, we could have made it with the pram, but yeah, that's much easier. It's like around 2 p.m. The little village is completely dead. It's so empty. It's Sunday as well, which is quite surprising. I would have thought there would be a lot more tourists, but that's amazing to travel off peak season. I can't wait for the rest of the travel this winter then. Yeah, if it's like that, it's just
the
gonna
weather's
be
okay. It is freaking wicked. It's like going back in time.
Yeah.
It really is. There's a few touristy shops, but mostly it's just little houses and oh, this is cool.
It definitely sparks up as well
Steep too.
our creativity for wanting to do more photography, more videography. Austria got a little bit the same after some time, so yeah, this is amazing.
We have just arrived in the walled, fortified city of Carcassonne, which is literally just there. Massive fortified castle complex dating from prehistorical times, then Roman times, then medieval and onwards, and it's been incredibly well restored. About 100 or so years ago. 51 towers in this complex, so we're going to go check that out now. Awesome little parking spot for €6 on a vineyard here. Only issue is it's really off camber, but they've provided these logs, so 6 of those has jacked us up to being pretty much perfectly level. Look at that, it's great. Because we still don't have any way of leveling the truck ourselves. We just don't have the room or the weight capacity to be carrying big logs like this, but I would love to. Kind of what we do with Bowser, but there's just not really anywhere to store it. Maybe if we get some sand tracks, I'll be able to use those, something like Max Tracks or something like that. All right, let's get going. Over the drawbridge.
À l'abordage. Wow. Now that's a castle. Many places in France we call them castle, chateau, but they're actually more like a more recent building. This is like a proper, yeah, like a palace, like the Chateau de Versailles. This is incredible. So cool.
So it's really cool. They've rebuilt a lot of these wooden ramparts. So a rampart in the Middle Ages was put on the outside of a castle like this, and that gave a really good vantage point for archers to fire from the little arrow slits here, or crossbowmen and then later guns. And then you would have it completely open from below where they could like drop rocks down onto the attackers as they were trying to enter the doors. And then you could also from here as well tip, you know, boiling hot water and things like that. So on a castle, when you see all of these small spots here, it's not actually for arrows, it is to put in the big wooden logs that create the ramparts themselves. Obviously they would have rotted away hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago, so it's really cool that they've rebuilt them like this. Plus we've got a little bit of a Christmas theme going on. And the stone defensive part of the castle, they're called the crenellations. So these are the permanent part of the castle defenses for firing arrows and crossbows out of, etc. And then when you've got the ramparts, the wooden part, that was almost like seasonal part of the defenses. So when there was not a battle about to ensue or a siege, like, you know, they would know many miles ahead that an army was coming. That's when they would put up the ramparts.
Clearance issue ahead.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Whoa.
Dad is going to lose his hat. So these inner towers and wall are the Gallo-Roman era ones, and then during the Middle Ages they built the second row of fortifications just to kind of bolster the defences even more. So this is all Roman, so you can actually see the old bricks all through here. A lot of it obviously being restored. Not, I'm wrong according to Oaks.
I can see Scaldi.
You should see this beautiful truck out here. Wow.
Look at it over there.
It's so beautiful. I bet those owners are legends.
That's pretty cool to be able to keep an eye on the truck while we do our little...
Yeah, imagine if we saw someone breaking in, I'll be like, ah.
A bit far. So it's a beautiful area. We're surrounded by a lot of vineyards. Last night we camped on top of the valley. There was like a 360-degree views. This area seems to be really great for wild camping. No, really pleasantly surprised. It's quite common to park at vineyards in this region of France, and I think around countries like Italy and Spain. So I'm looking forward to trying something a bit more different.
Southern France is so good so far. I thought it was going to be like this really toffee-nosed, like rich person's place with yachts and stuff like that.
That's probably more the southeast.
Yeah, I'm sure it exists, but this part's really quaint and cute, and the people are friendly.
Nice background.
Yeah, it's like going back in time a little bit.
She's still there.
Oh, there she is. Here's some more of these ramparts here. What I forgot to say as well is the purpose of the rampart is also to shield the defenders from rain and the elements against the besieging army. Now you won't be able to tell on the GoPro, but it's really impressive. They've actually used wooden nails. They're like stakes that drive through and hold all of these together, which kind of gives you a good idea of the detachable nature of the entire wooden structure here. They can just pull it apart really quickly and store it. Well, just had a good day of doing chores. We went to Decathlon, bought this guy a few things that he had grown out of. Look at this for a free camping spot. The most awesome part of it, those lenticular clouds. How sweet are those? Beautiful pink sky, UFO over there. And then we've got this epic canal right here. With some houseboats just down the stream. Absolutely beautiful spot.
I think it's called Canal du Midi, and the people living in the boats here in France, we call them péniches.
Péniche.
Péniche.
Péniches. Where are we going, Ange? Where are we going?
Whoa. Tunnels. Oh, we're definitely not used to this in Australia. It's nice to have a quite low vehicle, at least much lower than bars. I wouldn't have to worry too much. I think we should fit everywhere. So we are at the start of the French Pyrénées, which is a mountain region in the southwest of France. And this is shared with Spain. So basically there are two sides of it, and I've never been here before and I'm already loving it. The change of scenery is crazy out of nowhere. There's all these rocky outcrops, and we're gonna check out at least one castle, maybe three, just like some ruins, like, you know, a bit more of what.
So these are called the Five Brothers, and they I'll look up a bit more about the history, but they're kind of related to the walled city of Carcassonne. They protected the border, basically, which was there at that time. These castles were basically right on the border. They're no longer anymore. I mean, they're still close. So we are kind of on the Mediterranean side of the Pyrenees, and we're going to just start trying to drive up the middle of the Pyrenees, I guess you could say, along the ridge, and just see when we have to kind of turn back after these castles if it gets really snowy and icy. I know we're kind of driving into a snowstorm as we speak, a bit higher up, so we'll need to be a bit careful.
So according to Google, this is the way we're meant to go. We're not too sure.
All right, now we're talking.
Definitely not the touristy way. Ahead.
Well, we're almost there, but there's no way that was the main road. We off-roaded to a castle, look at that!
We definitely took the wrong road.
Yeah, there's a paved road right there. Goodness me, we took the goat track, but yeah, that's why we've got this vehicle. Such a cold, insanely windy night, but the tent was super strong. Check this out. Chateau de Quéribus, and the view is superb. Really nice view. It's another castle that way. Very cool. What an awesome castle. This is a proper Crusader medieval castle, this one. Of course this castle was never restored, so huge portions of it are basically under all of this rubble from the many hundreds of years that it's been here. So you can probably tell actually here are where they would put in the wooden hoardings. So this would have been much higher above ground than it is now. This would have been the very top of the ramparts almost, if you could imagine. And you can see this, I think, was an old, possibly a staircase that went down. This is of course the main area of the keep, but yeah, really cool. Obviously it helps if you've got a colourful imagination, but you can really bring this place back to life once you see it.
Alright, so we're heading to castle number 2, Chateau de Quéribus. We have just spent the night at the Chateau d'Aguilar. A very windy night.
Very windy.
Our first proper windy night, and we've spent a lot of windy nights in rooftop tent in our Jeep back in Oz. And I must say, the tent, yesterday we had some strong gusts. That tent is strong. Like the wind, I think with the walls that are reinforced with all the aluminium strips, it handles the wind much better than our previous rooftop tent. So yeah, happy with that. Very nice to explore the castle this morning. It's all like open.
We've got 4 more to explore.
Yeah, we're doing a proper tour of the castles of France.
Some pretty gnarly weather, but
yeah, the scenery.
Not gonna miss these castles for anything.
Yeah, we hopefully get better weather tomorrow, but yeah, we're still trying to make the most of it. And look at that, we're going there.
It's a bit windy. Oh my god. Wow. Got some shelter just on the side of the mountain. Man, this is epic. 360-degree views. Now, Chateau de Quéribus was originally a 9th century fortification. Okay, we'll try that again. We've got even more shelter from the keep here. So this is originally a 9th century fortification, so incredibly old. It stands in a really pivotal spot on the mountain range here, because back in the day there were very few passes through the mountains that were actually usable, and this defended one of the main ones. And then in like the 1200s, 1100s and 1200s, this belonged to its own region called Aragon, and then some bloke came back after the Crusades in 1255 and managed to take this castle for the French, and then since then it's obviously been in French territory. But really amazing. All of these castles are so cool because they've been left to ruin. It's just, yeah, magical. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually almost scary how windy it is coming up those concrete steps. It's really trying to blow you straight off the sides. All right, let's check it out. I'm trying to get back into taking some video for you guys, which is of a much higher caliber than what the GoPro can deliver. But the really great thing about the GoPro, which I'm talking to you on now, is it's just got that massive wide angle. which is quite hard to achieve usably on a mirrorless camera like this. You can go a really wide angle lens, but then it really distorts people's faces, and I feel like you can't shoot as much as something with like a slight amount of zoom. So I'm using a 28 to 75mm relatively basic Tamron lens, but it fulfills quite a lot of purposes. And the other amazing thing with the GoPro, and the reason we use it, is it's got like its own inbuilt microphone, because we're using this thing called a media mod. So it actually absorbs quite a bit of the wind, luckily. Whereas here I'd have to actually carry a proper Rode mic around. And also it's just got amazing stabilization. So like I can shake you up and down, and it's like you're on a gimbal. To get the same effect with this is a really big clunky setup that Ange and I don't like using, because we're, as you know, we're run and gun shooters. We're not filming cinematic masterpieces. We're trying to just document what we're seeing and doing very much on the fly. Nothing of ours is rehearsed. So that's why I'm now trying with both setups. But it's frustrating what a good job the GoPro does. But you get what's called better depth of field and bokeh or bokeh, which is like this effect you get when you've got something really close in the foreground and something in the background on a camera like this with good glass. You'll get this cool like mottled out of focus effect, which is very hard to achieve with a phone or with the GoPro. So anyway, I hope you appreciate it. I'm trying to get some different shots for you guys, and I will try and fly the drone later, but I might lose it with how windy it is, so wish me luck. Wow. I just love this. This is so cool. And there's no one here, it's just me. Wow. I think the reason I like the ruins, not the, the fully restored touristy ones, it's because it's like I've just discovered it. This long lost ruin that no one else has found for hundreds of years. Medieval info. So now, spiral staircase, really typical of Western style castles all over the world. Now they're all built, these spiral staircases, exactly the same for one main reason, and that is to give the defender of the castle the upper hand. So if you imagine, most people are right-handed. If someone's trying to come up, they've taken the bottom of the keep, they're trying to come up and kill the king, the lord, whatever, I have got my strong arm able to strike at the attackers, and they don't have their right arm available because it's around the corner. They can only really strike with their left offhand. Not to mention that they're coming up, which is always much more difficult for an attacker, and they'll actually often make these staircases off camber and weird just to throw the attacker off. Plus they are purposely very narrow like this, all of them, all over the world, so that it was a single file sort of thing. So, a couple of defenders could defend against a much larger attacking force if they were well armoured and trained. They could just and kick ass. Pretty cool. Love it.
How is that for a camp spot? Wow.
How's this? Man!
And welcome to castle number 3, Chateau de Peyrepertuse. It's a bit hard to pronounce. Peyrepertuse. What a spot. Insane.
Doesn't get better than this for a camping spot, right? Good morning, guys. That was actually a pretty toasty night with the diesel heater. I modified it a couple of days ago to go straight up into the bed now, and it made a huge difference. Luckily, because it snowed quite a bit last night. It's been very cold up here, but really worth it for the spot. So cool. So Oakley's a little bit, kind of seems a bit under the weather this morning. So Ange is doing me an absolute solid and letting me check out the castle, or she kind of looks after him in the warmth of the truck with the heater running. So it's like 9:30. I'm going to check out this castle and take you guys with me. But so far this one looks the best yet. Don't think the snow's meant to last. I think it should stop pretty soon, and then I think this is the last of kind of the bad weather behind us. But you know, for Christmas time, sleeping under a snowy castle, couldn't ask for more than that for this time of year in Europe. It's like something straight out of that movie Willow. So cool. Where's Mad Mardigan when you need him, huh? And of course, I'm the only one here. The castle hasn't even opened yet, but I'm having a sneaky explore. Wow, look at the keep. Oh, the snow is back. There's something just absolutely special about exploring such an incredible place all by yourself. It's like you're exploring it for the first time. I love that. So what's happened is they have spent quite a lot of money restoring a lot of this castle in terms of like its steps, things like that, to still make it accessible to explore but not kind of ruin the ruinous vibe of it. And I just love it. And I must admit, I am swelling with a lot of pride that after a really hard year, it's paid off with something like this, because together with Ange, we brought our little boy over to the other side of the world, to a hostile environment, built our own vehicle, and this is by far my favorite stop so far. Managing to explore the ruins of a French medieval crusader castle in the Pyrenees mountains in our vintage truck that we basically saved from death. Wow. Proud. Alright, storming the keep. Unreal. Just an insanely defensible position. Just sheer rocky outcrop on all sides apart from this one entrance here. So they could have taken that part of the castle and put up a massive defense here for possibly months on end, depending on how much food and supplies they had. God, this is well built. Insane. Imagine trying to force your way in here, man by man. The pile of bodies, God. Murder holes everywhere, crossbow slits. This would have been terrifying, trying to take this. Excuse my breathing. And just like that, we've lost the rest of the castle in the cloud. Sick. Chapel Saint-Jordi. Wow, what a view they had. Well, on a nice day. Wow. For all the boys around the world, I just took the most majestic whiz off of the castle walls. Now I feel alive. Alright, time for me to head back down. I got such nice shots with the drone this morning, but had a bit of trouble getting the batteries to be warm enough for the drone to fly. I've brought it up with me. I'm really tempted to fly it here, but it's quite windy ripping around this corner. I've just got a bad feeling about it. And if I lose the drone here, I won't be able to get the footage to show you guys. So I think discretion is the greater part of valor. I won't fly it here. Maybe I'll fly it when I get back down to Skadi, depending on the conditions. But I must say, I think this is called Peyrepertuse, Castle Chateau de Peyrepertuse. I don't really know anything about the history of it, so I apologize I can't fill you in on it yet. I didn't know this place even existed until about a week ago. This is by far the best I've ever seen in my life. This castle is unreal. I really do implore you to try and come and see this. It's well worth the drive in here. Man, it's just amazing. And even in this time of year, I think it makes it even more special. Alright, enough blabbering. I'll get back to Ange and Oaks and get these hands a little bit warm again. Just quickly, so our views, some of you may have noticed, are drastically dropping since the build, which is quite sad. That kind of stresses Ange and I out, because of course our main and only income is YouTube. So thanks to you guys for watching today. I mean, that literally is paying for our food and our fuel. and any other bits and pieces we need. So yeah, huge thank you. If you could please help us out by, for that algorithm, just hitting the like button, or if you want to share it with some friends who might like to see, you know, some castles and a cool vintage truck and a family traveling, and also any feedback would be great as well. Of course, we can't be doing off-roading or a build non-stop. It's just not sustainable for us because we don't have a home base, as you know. So yeah, if you could just help us out with that algorithm and slap that like button, maybe give it a share, hit the sub button if you haven't already. It's free, of course, and yeah, we would really appreciate it. And thank you from all three of us, sincerely, thank you.
Another day, another castle ticked off the list.
Yeah, so we've now seen 4 out of the 5 sons of Carcassonne. The 5th one is a bit out of our way and looks like maybe the least interesting out of all of them, so we probably won't see that one.
Yeah, so yesterday we arrived at the Chateau de Peyrepertuse, the nicest day out of like the old days we've had. So I actually went on a little walk to look at a bit higher up to get a good vantage point, and it was absolutely stunning, really nice forest walk. There was snow on the mountains nearby, so yeah, really nice to go on a little walk while Chris was manning the fort with Oakley.
I was manning the fort. We've got the castle just in the background here, but they are doing some renovations, so a helicopter was flying over yesterday dropping some supplies to them, so we're not actually going to go into the castle because it's shut because of that. And now we head off, and the next time you see us will either be in the small country of Andorra, checking out the smugglers route, hopefully, if it's open, or we'll be in Spain.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We'll try and find a bit more off-road, out of the beaten path with Skadi.
Yeah, plans more driving, some technical trails with Skadi in the next video, so hopefully we can find some.
See you
Cheers
then.
guys, thank you, bye.